Frequent Miler on the Air starts now. Today's main event, giant credit card offers are back and better than ever. But I'm feeling a little nervous about today's show, Nick.
Uh-oh, you're nervous, and it's not just because I've been on paternity leave and don't know what's going on. There's
No,
another reason you're nervous.
It's because when we discussed what we were going to talk about today, you were like, oh, I'm ready with post-roast. And I know it was over email, but it came across like you were rubbing your hands and cackling while you're saying it. So.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I physically wrote out notes this time around. I was like, "Oh man, I'm going." I get excited. So,
all right. Well, luckily I've got some time before I get hit by that.
You do.
So first, we're going to drag out the giant mailbag.
Let's do it. There it is.
All right. Today's mail comes via Apple Podcasts reviews from Timor33. Timor says, one of the best out there. If you have any interest in traveling, Frequent Miler has some of the best inside info out there. Though podcasts can be long, they are enjoyable to listen to. I've learned huge amounts of info and continue to learn from them. Definitely recommend 5 stars. So that's pretty cool. I want to talk about the can be a bit long part. So, I think a lot of us tend to focus on the one slightly negative thing, but this is something that while you've been on paternity leave, I've been, editing the videos, and they are very long. So it takes a long time to go through and collect the timestamps and everything. And it'd be kind of nice if they weren't so long. Yeah. So let's try to go through these a little bit faster, but keep all the humor, all the good advice, and all the good content. We'll just throw out all the bad.
All the bad stuff.
As we're recording. I don't want to have to do it in post-production.
Sounds good to me. You're right. It does take a long time. It takes longer than it looks like it takes, probably. So
yeah,
it takes a while. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's fine. Let's do it.
Okay. Cool. We're going to do this in less time than we normally do. So let's move on to the next.
You might have to edit that sentence out. All right. So the next thing, then, let's move right into it. Is what crazy thing did Citi do this week?
Yeah, this week we don't have a Citi thing, although I'm sure there are some Citi things out there. But I kind of like this little story reader Nicole sent us. She wrote that she was trying to use you might remember Capital One Spark business cards supposedly have price protection. You wrote that post about price protection, which cards still have it. And so she got the card specifically for price protection. And she said she even asked them before applying, does this really have it? Yes. So now that she's gone to try to use the price protection, she is having trouble figuring out how to do it. So she contacts Capital One, and they say, well, that's a MasterCard benefit. You have to talk to them. So she calls MasterCard. They say, no, you don't have that benefit. She gets both of them, Capital One and MasterCard, on the phone together, and they start arguing with each other. So Capital One saying, yes, she has a benefit. MasterCard saying, no, she doesn't. She's left without any solution.
Oh, that stinks. That stinks. It's right there in the guide to benefits for those cards. So
yeah. So I think we have to blame MasterCard for this one, although it's a little hard to say because Capital One ought to back up their benefits that they advertise.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, and that stinks if they're not. I don't know if it depends on how much of a claim it would be. I don't know if it'd be worth a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau complaint over something that's probably relatively small, but at the same time, it's there in their terms that's one of the benefits. So, I mean, if you're not getting any resolution from either Capital One or MasterCard, and you put in your effort, I guess it's time, you may consider something like that kind of forces Capital One's hand to get it figured out.
Not a bad idea. All right. Let's jump into Mattress running the numbers. What do we have this week?
Well, this week, Marriott is, out with a new Amex offer, or Amex is out with a new Marriott offer, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. Spend $250, get $75 back, like 30% back. That's a terrific Amex offer, right?
It really is. So, if you're actually going to be staying in a Marriott and spending about that much, then that's a 30% rebate on top of whatever other discounts are happening. A lot of Marriotts, I'm sure, are having various discounts and things.
Hmm.
So that's good on its own. It also, for those with Amex Marriott cards, there was this 10x offer going on, which still goes till the end of October. So you could get 10x at Marriott hotels. It's also 10x at gas stations and restaurants, I think. So that stacks as well. So that's pretty good. You'd be getting 10 points per dollar, $75 back.
Right. So do you
Now
notice the 10 points per dollar on the 250, or is it on the 175 after you've gotten the, do
it's
you get the
on.
10 points on
Oh,
the
I
money that
think it
gets
would be on the
rebated?
250 because I don't
Yeah.
think they would track it that closely. But
I
that's
don't
a good
remember.
question. That's a good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't looked closely. You got to look through your statements with a fine tooth comb. But at any rate, it's at least 1,750 points on top, right? That earned from your credit card. Maybe 2,500 if you get it on the 250, and if you're actually staying, obviously you're going to get more points. But if you're not going to stay, some Marriott sell gift cards at the front desk, and if you buy one at
right.
the front desk, historically, those have also triggered the Amex offer. So if it's got like a gift shop, you don't want to go to the gift shop. That's not going to trigger. You got to buy it at the front desk. And so the first trick is actually finding a Marriott hotel that sells gift cards. And then the second trick is finding a Marriott hotel that sells gift cards that has them in stock. And if you magically get those two things together, then the third part is you need to find an employee who knows how to sell the gift cards, which is not always an easy task.
Right. But once you find that magic
The
combination,
trifecta.
hold on tight to
Right.
it because these offers
Right.
come up fairly regularly. So
They do. So it's a good way to lock in a discount for the future, even if you're not staying at Marriott right now. And that's totally worthwhile, right? I mean,
right.
30% back. You totally do that. So
Absolutely. So in a past, and I'm totally gonna do that with I have mine and my wife's Bonvoy cards from Amex, and so I'll go buy, if I can, $500 worth of gift cards and get 30% back. That's awesome.
right.
But in a past episode, we talked about whether people should be thinking about mattress running Marriott if they're in the position of being 7 nights from gold. And the reason that a lot of people are 7 nights from gold is because Marriott did this thing where if you had gold status last year, they gave you this year half the number of points that it normally takes at gold status, plus you
That's the
have
number of nights.
nights. I mean, sorry,
Right.
right. And if you have both a business and a consumer credit card, you have 30 nights there. And so between those two things, a lot of people, without having any stays this year, are 7 nights away from getting platinum status, which is the level of status that gives you free breakfast at many or most Marriott hotels. You need a chart to figure out whether you're going to get that benefit, but a
A
lot of
lot of
places
Marriott
you get
hotels.
that, as well as
Right.
the potential for upgrades, 4 p.m. late checkout, and other
Lounge
goodies.
access at most places that have a lounge.
Right.
Right. Some extra points per dollar that you get you get the extra points per dollar everywhere, but you got to remember that the number of points you earn differs depending on the properties. Yeah,
That's
okay.
true.
All right. All that aside, that's the sweet spot, right? That's the level of benefit that you want to get with Marriott. I mean, great if you can
Right.
get to titanium, wonderful, I guess, but platinum is where the meaningful benefits are.
Right. So, I'm trying to remember what we talked. I know we talked about that it didn't make sense for a spouse to do it. Like, because I was in that situation where my
Right.
wife has 43 nights because of all these things. But it'd be ridiculous for us to book nights just for the point of getting her to platinum when we could just book rooms under my account and get all those benefits. So it would make no sense to do that.
I mean, the one
But
advantage is that for free night certificates from her credit cards, you would get the platinum benefits, which you may
yeah,
not get,
right.
without that status. But
for one night a year,
yeah, exactly. Not worth spending money or points on 7 nights. And I think actually
right.
what we had said was that for a lot of people, or at least my opinion on it, was that I thought 7 nights didn't make sense for most people unless you're really going to get a lot of value out of that platinum status next year. I thought that it was more points or money than it was probably worth for 7 nights.
Right.
However, does this change that?
That's the question. Now you'd be getting,
Now,
let's say you can engineer it so you're getting exactly 30% back and you're getting the 10x points as well.
Right. And probably you can do that. I mean, let's say you got two people playing in two-player mode, so you can get $500 worth of gift cards and you're 30% back. Now, let's say you can find a Marriott that's, I don't know, $75 a night, right? So, and I just made that number up, so that's probably not going to conveniently fit into 500 any way, shape, or form, right? But that would get you pretty close to the 7 nights, right? So 250 for 5. I mean, to get you 5 of the 7 nights, I think, if I just did the very quick math in my
I'm
head. 6,
doing the
6, 7,
calculation. Oh, no, that's
6,
that's
7,
plenty.
7.
So,
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, you would get
150.
7
Yeah.
times 75 is
4, 6.
$525. So you're almost.
Yeah,
So if it was a
exactly.
little bit
Almost all
less than
7.
75, you'd
Right.
be set.
Right.
So
Right. So there you go.
let's pretend you get all
Let's
7
pretend.
nights for
Yeah.
$500,
Right.
and you're getting back 175 times 2.
Right.
You're getting back 5,000 points on top of on top of whatever points you earn from the stay itself.
Right.
From having platinum status, you're getting, I think it's 15 points per dollar from platinum status. So 25 points per dollar total, I think. Although it'd be less at some Marriott hotels. So
Right.
probably a
Other service
$75
places.
hotel could be, you're getting a total of 10.
Yeah, it was a little hard to predict, but let's just play with the numbers that you got there. So okay, again, your layout there, assuming you got the 2 offers between 2 spouses, is going to be $350 for the 7 nights, right? We said you can get the 7 nights for $500. It's actually going to cost you $350. And how many points are you going to get? Did we say?
Well, total, if you're at 25 points per dollar. Is that what we're
Well, you're not
assuming?
there yet, right? Because you're at gold status. You're not at.
Oh, you're at gold, right? I don't remember what gold gets.
Yeah,
we're useless.
So you're gonna get 5,000 points from the Amex, or from the 10 points per dollar on your Amex, right? So it's gonna be 5,000 points right there, and then base earning at most Marriott properties is 10 points per dollar. I think the gold bonus is like 25% on top of that. So I think you get 12 and a half. Let's just call it 10 to make the math easy. So you're going to get another 5,000 points based on the stay. So 10,000 points. So $350, you're going to get 10,000 points back, get your 7 nights in your platinum status. Is it worth it?
So let's generously, just to make the math easy, say the 10,000 points are worth $100. Just to make the math real easy, right? Perfect. We wouldn't normally value it that highly, but it'd be 80 or something. But $100,
makes it easy enough. Yeah.
I think we're getting back something like 350. No, we're getting back 150. We're getting back 150. So that's 250 total back in rebates.
Right. Yes.
I mean, if you count the points for $500 outlay, so you could say it's costing you roughly around $250 to do this.
Roughly. Yeah.
$250 to get platinum status.
How many breakfasts you can eat? I don't know. I mean, how many breakfasts you can eat? Maybe that's at a point where I'm like, okay, $250 might be worth it. 4 p.m. checkout is worth it to me sometimes. I don't know if at $250 for the year, I might value it around there. You throw in a couple of decent, nice, fancy breakfasts. That suddenly, I think, sounds a little bit more appealing. I think I'd do it. I think I'd mattress run it.
Here's where it would come down to me is, do you think it's likely you're going to stay at a property where it's valuable? And
that's a good question.
If you're going to be staying, you could be staying in a lot of Marriotts, but if they're residence inns where the platinum status isn't going to get you anything free, well, you might get a room upgrade anyway. Right. It's not going to be worth as much. So yeah, if you're going to be staying a reasonable amount of time at like sort of higher end Marriotts, but not so high end that they don't give you benefits, right? Ritz-Carlton does not give you much if you're platinum. They give upgrades to titanium, but not breakfast.
But yeah, St. Regis does. So if you're staying in a nice St. Regis,
great,
valuable, right? I mean,
that's right.
Really depends on where you're going to stay
next
year.
Right.
But.
So if you have one of those higher end stays, or even a medium like Autograph Collection, those give you good benefits. Then yeah, I think I would do it.
I probably would. I don't know if I'd do it for player 2 because I don't necessarily, because you're only looking at it for the free night certificate nights. But if you're if you're one of those people that you are the only one in your household that's going to go after this status, then yeah, I think it probably is worth it, because you figure 2 people for breakfast, 5 nights, that's to what. 10 breakfasts, $250. 20. You're paying $25 a breakfast. That's probably a good deal.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to make it back.
Right.
And then plus you get the intangible benefits. You might be able to use your suite upgrade certificates. You might have some luck there.
Yep.
Okay, cool. We actually agree. 2 thumbs up on that one.
All right.
Now,
welcome to the main event.
The main event. Huge credit card offers are back and better than ever. So I want to start with the ones that aren't really better than ever, but they're back because Chase, during the pandemic up until now, has not been approving business card applications. Like, they still have those application links out there and they let you apply, but then almost everybody gets denied. But that's changed. So
Yeah.
this month they said, enough with that. Let's start approving people. And there's lots of data points of people now, just like the old times, getting approved with just sole proprietor, simple business without having to prove, all kinds of paperwork about their business. So that's good news. Especially excited about it because for years we've been saying, and I totally believe that Chase business cards are some of the best rewards cards out there that you can get.
Right. And while Chase can be a little bit more difficult in terms of approvals for business cards than some other issuers, I wouldn't have categorized them as difficult pre-pandemic. It wasn't, generally speaking, it wasn't going to require very many hoops. It's just a matter of whether or not they were willing to approve you. But there weren't usually a lot of different things you had to submit or paperwork and that
Right.
sort of thing, like you said. So yeah, it's really good to see that come back because yes, they are great offers and they're great cards. The Ink cards in general, the Ink Cash and the Ink Unlimited, both no-fee cards that are great cards to have. They're not just great cards for a welcome bonus. They're good cards to have in your wallet. So
Right. I mean, every points collector needs an Ink Cash. I mean, 5X at Office Supply and Staples and Office Depot sell lots of gift cards, including often Visa gift cards with no fee on top of them, through their various sales. So that alone, being able to get 5X rewards at Office Supply is awesome. And then also set up your auto pay to your cable TV and your cell phone and all those things that it also gives 5X for. And you're getting a lot of points from that card, and it's no fee.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
And 50,000 point sign up bonus that it's had for a long, long time.
Right.
Which
and generally in the past, we would have probably said sign up for the Ink Business Preferred and get the larger welcome bonus on that, and then down the road downgrade to an Ink Cash.
Right.
However, these days now that Ink Business Preferred card requires $15,000 spend in 3 months. That's a much more difficult bar to reach for a lot of people. So suddenly, I think that the Ink Cash and the Ink Unlimited, especially the Ink Cash, like you said, it makes a lot more sense as a new application now than it ever did before.
Right.
Great to see it come back.
Right. And so the Ink Business Preferred used to be an 80K offer with 4K spend, I think, and now it's 100K with 15K spend. You could get the same 100K by getting both of the fee-free inks and 3K spend each, something
exactly.
like that.
6K spend total. I mean, less than half the required spend. It's almost a no-brainer now.
Right.
That the Ink Preferred isn't as valuable an option anymore for most
Right.
folks.
So that's awesome. We took away the asterisk from a lot of posts.
It was like, you can't get Chase business cards right now, but now
Right.
maybe you can.
Right.
That's good news.
So that's really good news. And then Chase and Capital One both hit the scenes this week with new great big offers. Let's talk about Capital One first. Capital One.
I'm going to say new big offers.
I don't know
if I'm going to call the Capital One a new great offer yet. Go ahead, explain.
All right.
What's up with Capital One?
So Capital One is advertising 100,000 points after, and this is the downside that you're alluding to, after $20,000 spend. They didn't think Chase's 15,000 spend for their Ink Business Preferred was enough, so they went with 20,000 spend. And if you can't spend that much, you could do the 3,000 spend that is their normal offer and get the normal amount of points, which is 50,000 points. So yes, you're right. That's a good point. It's a very big offer, not necessarily a great offer.
Yeah, I mean, so let's be very clear. So the way the offer is structured is you will get 50,000 points after the first 3,000 spend. Then if you do an additional 17,000 spend in the first year on that card, you'll get the additional 50,000 points. So really, I look at that as, okay, it's the usual 50K for 3K, then it's another 50K for 17,000. And that's the part to me that 100K sounds nice and $1,000 worth of points sounds great. And, you can turn those into airline miles and get 2 points to Capital One miles per dollar on all your spend. So you're going to get that too. However, I look at it and say, that's not a great bonus for $17,000 spent.
I agree. On the other hand, one of the things that it has going for it is it's already a strong card for your everywhere else spend.
That's true.
It's not the strongest, but it's
not bad.
It's got that 2% value per dollar spent. So it's a reasonable card to spend a lot on if you have a lot of spend to do. So it's not like there's a lot of opportunity cost by putting that big spend on the venture rewards versus some other card,
Great point.
unless you happen to have the Bank of America premium rewards with the platinum honors, that kind of thing. Then you've got some more opportunity costs there. But even then, I bet if you add up that 0.62% on top of 17,000, it's not going to be such a big number that it would scare you away from getting the 50,000 points.
No, you're right. You're right. And hats off to Capital One for coming up with a smart offer. I mean, I think that it's a good eye-popping number of points, and they're also incentivizing you to make that your everywhere else card. They want you to spend on it. So they're going to give you a nice little bonus up front, like everybody normally does, to attract a customer. But then they also want to entice you to keep using the card for the rest of the year, because most people aren't going to spend the original or the additional $17,000 in a month or two. So it's going to keep that card at the top of wallet for a while. So I mean, I think that's the creative, good way to do it from their perspective, from the bank's perspective.
Yeah, and also I think people who aren't credit card bonus hunters will look. A lot of people spend $20K a year on credit cards without breaking a sweat, and so if you're one of them and you're just looking for a single card, a single decent card, wouldn't call it the best out there, but if you want just one, it's a pretty good choice.
That's right.
And so I think for those people, it's actually pretty great.
Yeah. All right. I will concede that. You're right. If you want to just get one card this year, definitely, I'd say that's a great offer.
So a quick aside there. So did you ever watch the Peanuts cartoons? Charlie Brown and Lucy.
I think I saw those in a history book when I was growing up. No, I have not. I have not.
Oh my God. Well, all right. So a common theme with Charlie Brown is that, and it's.
I know Charlie Brown. I know Charlie Brown.
Okay. All right.
But common theme is.
So Charlie Brown always wants to kick the football. And so, Lucy will hold it for him, and she promises him every time. This time, I'm not going to pull it away. I'm not going to pull it away. And he always makes the mistake of believing her in the end, and then he runs to kick the football. She pulls it away, and he flops on his back every time. Okay. So that's me and Capital One. I have not been approved for Capital One card ever. And so I saw this big 100K offer, and it's like, ooh, I'm going to try again. Hold the football.
And she took it away again, didn't she?
I was denied.
Yeah. Very sad. Very sad.
But the reason I thought I had a chance is minutes after I published the post about the 100K offer, a reader commented saying, applied, instantly approved. And
you were like, whoa.
And this is a reader, I believe it's a reader that has commented for years, and so I thought they probably have a history of signing up for cards, and so I thought, okay, they probably eased things up. I should give it a try. I'm actually down to 324 right now, so you've only had 3 new accounts in the past 24 months, which for me that's very low.
You were going to give a 524 slot to that offer?
Yeah, because I was able to grab the. I have all the chase cards that I want to keep, right. And yeah.
All right. So, but no dice. They said no.
They said no. So they gave me an alternative offer that they approved me for. To tell me this, would you go for this? So, the no fee venture 1 with no bonus and $1,000 credit limit.
And you were like, wow, guys, you shouldn't have.
Right. So I chose not to give up a 524 slot for that fantastic bargain.
But probably a good choice. All right. So maybe you can get that if you're one of those listeners that doesn't open very many credit cards. If you're somebody who does open credit cards with any kind of frequency, just get that out.
Capital One is just not eager to approve people who sign up for a lot of cards, or maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Our Capital One cards are mostly old. Although my wife's Spark card, she opened a couple of years ago, and at that point, she already had quite a few cards. So I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's just me.
Maybe it's just you. They don't like you.
Oh boy. Anyway, so
Sapphire Preferred is the next up.
Sapphire Preferred. So, they've had their 60K offer for a long, long time, and they've upped it to 80K. limited time, I believe. It's unclear when it'll end, although Dr. Credit has some rumor about when it'll end. And that's all good, right?
Yeah, I mean,
You've
that's a great offer. That one I will
all
stand.
right.
Great offer.
Just
ADK.
curious whether you agreed
Greg
with
was
me on
like,
that one.
I don't know. He's getting really nervous about this post roast thing. So
I am. I don't know what's
no,
coming.
no, that's a great offer. Yeah, I mean, 80,000 ultimate rewards points. Excellent. A lot of value to be had there. If you're eligible for a Sapphire card, it probably makes sense now, as Greg has said, and we've said before. I give it a couple of weeks to see if anything happens with the Sapphire Reserve. I'm sure we'll talk more about that in a second. But if nothing happens with the Sapphire Reserve, there's no increase there, then it's probably worth applying for a Sapphire Preferred if you're under 524 and you're eligible for a Sapphire card.
Right, because as things stand, at least as we're recording the show, the Sapphire Reserve is still at 50K, and
Right.
hopefully by the time we publish this, it'll be up to 150K or something. But
love to see that. Love to see that. Eat my words. But if not, then Sapphire Preferred is not a bad
right.
strategy to go after for now. And as we've said before, easier to get approved for it because it doesn't require the same amount of credit limit as the Sapphire Reserve. So an easier approval for a lot of people.
Right, right.
Keep in mind.
A couple other offers I found notable. You know, we've talked before about the Freedom offers, that they're not really 80K offers, but what they are is for years, or for a while anyway, you could get 20K points with $500 spend for these cards, but now they've added also get 5X at grocery stores for 12 months for up to 12K spend. And so, you know, I say, all right, a lot of people will spend 12K at grocery stores over a year. You're gonna earn a total of 80K by doing exactly 12K spend on those cards in the first year in grocery stores.
Yeah, and as I've shown, that's like about 40,000 bonus points, give or take, more or less. So 40,000 plus the 20 is 60. That's like the old offer on the Sapphire cards.
Right. And this is for two no fee cards.
Right.
So
right.
You know,
if notable.
Right. So, you know, if someone's starting out, just picked up the Sapphire Preferred and one of these Freedom cards, by the end of the year without much work at all, you've got 164,000 points.
Right, and then if you
added the 4,000 from the spend on the Sapphire.
Well, and if you happen to spend anything at restaurants, you're gonna get 3x now on the Freedom Flex or Freedom Unlimited, either one.
Right,
you get 3x restaurants, right, and 3x pharmacy, drugstore stuff. So I mean, you potentially could have a lot more points. Really, you can hit the gas and end up with a lot of ultimate rewards points.
Right, and bizarrely, you could get 5x by booking travel through Chase with the no fee Freedom card, as opposed to only 2x booking travel with the travel Sapphire Preferred card, the travel card. Right. So that's really weird, and I'm still shocked that they haven't rolled out 5x to the Sapphire line yet for booking through Chase. That's just bizarre.
Weird.
Another bigger than usual offer I noted is the Gold card. It's been hovering around.
That's the Amex Gold.
Amex Gold. Yep. Thank you. Which had been hovering, I think, around the 45K and sometimes less than that mark, and now it's up to 60K at least. Yeah. So that's a nice thing, because that's a sweet card for a lot of people in general. You know, just from the perks, the 4x at grocery stores and restaurants, and some other benefits. So getting a nice sign-up offer for that is pretty excellent. So
that's all exciting. No, I mean, that's pretty exciting stuff, right? I mean, it's a number of very good offers.
Right.
And so we went from like pandemic time of like, you know, everything kind of slowing down and getting really quiet to all of a sudden everybody's making a lot of noise. There's a lot of awesome offers out there right now.
Yeah. And, you know, we did during the pandemic see some big offers from brands like hotel cards or airline cards, but this is different. These are all transferable points currencies that we're talking about. And that's what we love here, right? It's points where you can take them and optionally use them to book travel at better than 1 cent per point value, but even better, transfer them to transfer partners and ideally book super valuable rewards for less. And yes, I think that's very exciting. Which do you think there's a best out of all these?
You know, I think an objective best is a little difficult to determine, because obviously it's going to depend a little bit on your situation. You mentioned before with the Capital One card, if you just want to have one card and open one card and that's it and use it for all your spend for the next year or so, then it's very hard to argue against the venture card as a good option. Although I say that, and the Sapphire Preferred's welcome bonus is worth $1,000 worth of travel, so it's
It
worth the
is.
same amount with a lot less spent. So
Right.
I guess I'd have a hard time. The issue there is that obviously you're going to get more value out of your spend that you put on the card with the Capital One card on everyday unbonus spend anyway. So if you got a lot of unbonus spend throughout the course of the year, maybe the Capital One card the venture card makes a little bit more sense. But otherwise, I think you got to go for the Sapphire Preferred after we're sure that the reserve is not going to bump up to 100K offer. I think you got to go for the Sapphire
I
Preferred first.
I agree. I agree. And I'd even go further and say, if you're interested in having just one card, then get over that and get both the Sapphire Preferred offer and the Freedom Unlimited.
Right.
They're a great pair together. And so you get the great spend bonuses that the Freedom Unlimited offers, and the great sign up bonus that the Sapphire offers, as well as the ability to transfer points. So that combination's really good.
It is, and it's going to cost you the same as having one card, since one of those two cards is fee free. So it's going to cost you one annual fee for two cards that give you an excellent 1-2 punch that is very hard to beat in terms of simplicity and return on spend. I mean, you can't really do much better than that. So in fact, you might not be able to do any better than that with two cards.
No, I mean, it's an excellent combination. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So
great.
What do you think? So this is just what we've seen so far. It feels like we're at the cusp of things happening, right? Like things are just starting to change as we get to this part of the pandemic world. I don't want to say the tail end of it, because who knows? But
who knows? Yeah.
where we are now, things are happening in the credit card world. And so, do you have any predictions? What do you think is going to happen next?
Well, I read with interest what you had to say about the Sapphire Reserve and whether or not we're going to see another 100K offer on the Sapphire Reserve. And I think my prediction is, unfortunately, that I don't think we'll see the 100K offer. I think you are totally right that at most we'll see an 80K offer, and I don't even think we're going to see that. I think it's going to stay at 50. I don't think that they feel a need to market that particular card right now. They haven't seemed to have felt a need to market it for a while. And there's not really an awesome standout increased card from a competitor, or offer rather, on a similar card from a competitor. We haven't seen anything crazy happen with the Prestige card. We haven't seen anything out of the ordinary with the Platinum card. So I don't necessarily think that anybody is marketing those cards extra hard, those ultra premium $450, $550 cards. So I don't think we're going to see another offer out of the Sapphire Reserve. Now, don't go applying for the Sapphire Preferred and come back next week and be like, Nick, you said it wasn't going to go up and it goes up to 100. I told you to wait. All right. I told you to give it a week or two and just see if I'm wrong. And it does go, because I'd love to be wrong and see another 100K on that. I just don't think I am. So
yeah, no, I mean, I can't remember the exact percentages I gave to my different guesses, but I think I was leaning towards the nothing's going to happen as well. So,
but that said, Citi's got to do something.
That's the question, right? Is Citi? I feel like I read something about Citi losing money on their cards, but I don't know. But competitively,
they need a new card. They need a new card.
Do they?
I do. Yeah, they need a whole new card. Why? Because they don't really have the same breadth of cards to cover the same variety of needs. I mean, you look at Amex. Amex has got a ton of different membership rewards cards. Chase has more ultimate rewards cards. Citi just doesn't have. First, they don't have anything to compete with the rotating categories that Chase has. So a rotating category card might make sense from Citi. Second, I feel like they're missing a lot of opportunity in terms of another everywhere else thank you card. Now, obviously, the double cash is the kind of default everywhere else thank you card, except who really knows that? Only people that are into miles and points. So nobody that's getting a double cash knows that that's the everywhere else. And the double cash doesn't have a welcome offer on it. I mean, hello. I guess what I should say is, first, the double cash is going to have to come with a welcome offer. So that's my first prediction. Got to introduce a welcome offer on the double cash. Second prediction, there should be some sort of a card that shakes things up in terms of a new bonus category or a new level. I mean, give me a $250 card, Citi, and wow me with something that I'm not expecting.
Oh, man. So I did not expect you to go there. And the reason I didn't expect you to go there is that I'm still pretty pumped about Citi's premier and double cash and rewards plus combination.
Oh, it's a good combo. You're right.
You have amazing 3x bonus categories for all three cards. Total annual fee of $95. I think it's a great combination. If I wanted them to do something, it would be more around. Well, first of all, don't get rid of the travel 1.25 thing that they say they're getting rid of with Citi Premier, but secondly, add some more useful transfer partners. That's what I would like to see from Citi.
Yeah, that would be nice too. Or I mean, I don't think this is going to happen. So let me take this out of the prediction realm and say the desire realm. What I'd like to see is, hello, Citi, let's get some business thank you cards. I know there's that one business thank you card that you can like maybe get in a branch or something. I've heard rumors.
Right.
I don't even know anything about it.
There is,
Nobody has that thing, right? So, I mean, it would be good to see some other Citi business cards that are related to the thank you ecosystem. I don't think they're going to do that. It doesn't make any sense to do that right now, but that's, I'd love to see that as a long-term goal. Since they're not going to do that, throw us a bone, give us another thank you card, give us something that's kind of interesting and unique and different.
What about, are they gonna up the bonus? So the Citi Premier bonus has been sitting at $60K, which was clearly designed to compete with the Sapphire Preferred. So are they going to say, oh, wait a minute, we were snoozing, we better up this to $80K as well?
I don't see them being that quickly responsive, although maybe I shouldn't say that because they did update to introduce the new bonus categories sooner because of the pandemic than they were originally planning to. So maybe they are more nimble than I give them credit for. So maybe I think it's more likely that we'll see something happen with the double cash. I think it's more likely we'll see.
Right.
We have occasionally seen $100 on that.
My prediction, that's true. My prediction is nothing with double cash, but Citi Premier comes out with an interesting new offer. And I further predict that they won't tell their reps about that offer. So when people call to ask about it, they'll be told, no, there's no such offer. I don't know what you're talking about.
Perfect. That's it. That's exactly it. I'm also going to add the prediction on there that they're going to do something with these Sapphire cards. I mean, I think that the increase in offer made sense, but they got to do something about that 5x travel book through Chase thing, right? I mean, and the fact that the no fee cards are 3x at restaurants. They got to do something about that.
Yeah, they do. So that would be good. Okay. So in the interest of trying to get through this more quickly than usual, which probably just means 30 seconds quicker.
You're not
we're going to skip post-rows.
No. I saw that coming. So post-rows is up, and since I didn't write anything this week, Greg doesn't have anything to say.
I don't have a thing.
Out on paternity leave.
I should have dug out some old posts.
You should.
Why didn't I do that? Lost opportunity.
Well, you are the person editing this, so maybe later on you can edit a voiceover. But assuming you don't do that, here's the post.
All right, what do you got?
All right, so this week, Greg republished a post and updated a post about like the roadmap for somebody who's new to the game, right? The best cards to get, the kind of 5 cards you want to start with and build from there. And the point was that within a year, you could have like 500,000 points pretty easily with just a few new cards. Now, the conventional wisdom is that you want to go after those chase cards relatively early, but he's got the venture card up front because Capital One obviously doesn't seem to want to approve anybody once you have a bunch of new cards. And you know what? Stop sweating. It's fine. I'm not going to roast you over the Capital One venture card. I think that's a good piece of advice. What I didn't like is that in those 5 cards that you recommended, you had the World of Hyatt card in there. And I got to tell you, Greg, your doctor called me and said you need to lay off. The blood sugar's getting high. You got to lay off that World of Hyatt Kool-Aid, buddy. Come on, you're drinking the Kool-Aid too hard. The World of Hyatt credit card? No, totally disagree. Hard disagree. Now, I'm going to hard disagree on the premise that you wrote the post saying that this is an outline for somebody who mostly travels domestically. They might be interested in traveling internationally once or twice a year. They don't want to put a lot of thought and time into studying transfer partners and award charts and that sort of thing. So more or less a beginner to the game. That's what the idea is here, right? I think the World of Hyatt card was a terrible suggestion for a beginner. Now I have this whole list of reasons why. and on this list, it says, stop drinking the Kool-Aid. I just want to know that was right here. So Hyatt is good. I love Hyatt, obviously. We all love Hyatt. Anybody who's in the game loves Hyatt because they get a great award chart. Doesn't cost a lot of points for super luxurious, nice hotels. And they have some really nice places and good customer service and the best top tier elite level of any of the hotel programs. Hyatt Globalist is amazing. However, Hyatt is not good for a beginner. There's a few reasons. Number one.
All right, that's all the time we have. So it's been
Number one. They're not even in all 50 states, Greg. Like, there's not even a Hyatt in all 50 states within the United States.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is. I counted them. It's like
which states
47.
are they not in?
I don't even know which ones because I didn't want to spend the time going through the list to figure out which ones it was. But there's like 47 that have Hyatts in them. And out of that 47, Vermont's got like one. There's a couple others. North Dakota, I think, has one, and it's not even in Fargo. There's a whole bunch that only had one. No, I shouldn't say a whole bunch. There's a couple that only have one. And there's a few states that have none at all. So I look at it and I say, if you're traveling within the United States, Hyatt just isn't everywhere you need to be. Yeah, they're going to be.
So you're saying I should have recommended the IHG card?
Not what I'm going to say. They're not in all 9 Canadian provinces either, and goodness knows Hyatt is not everywhere you need to be around the world because they only got like 900 properties. So they don't have the footprint of other people. So that's number one. Especially if you're traveling in the U.S., you're going to do national parks, you're going to be driving, that sort of thing. Do rural areas right now because of the pandemic. You don't need the Hyatt card because there's probably not a Hyatt where you need to be. And then if there is, there's probably only one. And so who knows? Is it going to be the high-end place you're looking for your special trip, or is it going to be a Hyatt place? Maybe you want the Hyatt place, but the only thing that's there is a Park Hyatt. There's just not enough variety. So I love Hyatt, but it's not good for a beginner. Not everywhere you need to be. And like I said, many times there's only one, and that one may not match the level that you're looking for. So for a beginner, what do I say? Now, I know you're going to say I had a caveat in the post saying your preferred hotel chain might be different, so you go with another card.
Right, don't bring up my counter arguments. Just let's get down your list.
Okay, but for beginners, it has to be the Marriott card. There's no doubt in my mind because, number one, there are also Amex Marriott cards. And you said in your post, hey, you can get an Amex Marriott, so you don't need the Chase Marriott. I'm going to say, wipe that out. You're a beginner. You need to build up a whole bunch of points. You can get the Chase Marriott card, and then once you're over 524, you can get an Amex Marriott and have a more meaningful number of points. You get the Hyatt card, you're going to get 50K points. That's it. You're going to get yourself enough for one night at a top-tier place. There's no other card to get. There's no upgrade, downgrade path for you. You're stuck with just that one card. You get the Chase Marriott card, and down the road, if you decide you don't want the annual fee, you can downgrade to the Bold, or down the road, you decide, hey, I'm really enjoying this Marriott stuff. You can upgrade to the Ritz. You get a couple of different Amex cards you can go after in order to put together a meaningful number of points, and also multiple free night certificates, which you won't be able to do getting multiple Hyatt cards because, again, there's only one Hyatt card. So I think that is a whole host of reasons there that are good for that. Then you're going to add on top of that, there are frequently Amex offers for Marriott, like the one we talked about during Mattress Running the Numbers, where you can save money. Now, sometimes we see those for Hyatt, much rarer than the ones for Marriott. So it's much easier to save money on your paid Marriott stays with Amex offers. You can also stack with portal rewards. You're not going to get that when you're paying for your paid Hyatt stays because they're not on any of the portals. You can also often get gift card deals, get those at reduced prices for Marriott, and they're everywhere.
Are you done yet?
They're all up. So if you decide you want to go to, I don't know, let's pick a city, Chicago, you can find yourself a Town Place Suites, or you can find yourself a nice high end Marriott of some
all right.
sort. You're not going to get that.
Come on, you're done, right?
Now I'm
so
done.
all right. So the let me tell you the part of the argument that I thought was good.
Okay. Only one little place. Okay.
One part was that with the Chase Marriott card, you have the option to either downgrade to the no-fee card or upgrade to the Ritz card. That is a very powerful capability. I do like that, and that's not something I considered when writing the post. The question, the idea that you could get the Chase card and then the Amex Marriott card is dependent on having a PhD in understanding terms and conditions, because Marriott, unlike any other brand ever in the history of credit cards, has made these Byzantine rules about if you have this card from Chase and you want this card from Amex, you can have it if it's been 90 days since your mother rolled over in her grave or whatever. But
which is true. But you have two options. You either need a PhD or you need to be a frequent miler reader. Since Greg created the chart in the Marriott Complete Guide that shows you exactly which card you're eligible for. You just have to
anyway, the point is, if you're talking beginners, you don't want to lead them down that path. But anyway,
fair.
The reason I have the Hyatt card in there is not really because it's the ideal card for a beginner, but it's the ideal card it's an ideal card to get before it's too late, because if you keep up doing this stuff, eventually you're likely to get to a point where you say, gee, I wish I had the World of Hyatt card. Like, for example, maybe they'll have a promotion where you could get up to 4x points per dollar, up to quadruple points per dollar if you have the card.
Yes.
And
Eh.
and so if you think you're going to want to get that card down the road, you need to get it before you're over 524.
You're right if you think you're going to want to get it down the road, but if you're a beginner, you probably don't know that yet. You're starting out.
That's why I'm helping them out by telling them now you're going to want it down the road.
See, disagree. The category 1 to 4 free night that comes with can be useful if you happen to be going to one of the 300 places or whatever where there's a category 1 to 4 Hyatt, but you need to be planning your trips around where you're going to use your category 1 to 4 night for the most part, or you need to be just happen to be traveling to places where there are category 1 to 4 Hyatts, whereas you're not going to have to probably plan your trip around finding a low enough Marriott in order to be able to use your Marriott annual free night certificate.
Yeah, but the category 4 Hyatts are often very nice,
they
nice
are.
hotels, and there are 35K Marriotts that are very nice when they're in standard, price, and when they're in peak price, you can't use your certificate at them. You don't have to worry about that with Hyatt.
Right, and that's nice. And like I've stayed at the Hyatt Regency Tokyo last year with my category 1 to 4 with a free category 1 to 4 cert. And I mean, that's a great use of a category 1 to 4 expensive place. It's actually only a category 3, I think, but it was a great use of it.
Yeah.
However, if you're not going to Tokyo, that doesn't really help you, right? So, if you're going to kind of plan around,
my family used to go for years. Has visited the Grand Hyatt in Orlando, and great property, great resort. It's category 3 or 4. And just, I think there are a lot of them in popular places. Whether or not you happen to go regularly to one of those, yes, that's going to vary by person.
Right.
But no, I think you made a good argument that Marriott card is a good contender. I still stand by. I think it's solid advice, but obviously, yes, it'll vary by.
I see what you're saying. Obviously, I'll frame all this saying I don't have the Hyatt card, and I wish I do. Or I wish I did. So yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from in terms of maybe deciding you want it down the road. I just didn't think it was.
Nick wants to create an army of people like him that has to deny that Hyatt is good.
No, Hyatt is great. Hyatt card didn't excite me.
Gotcha.
All right, so there's post roast. So that brings us to question of the week, and there's no question because I wasn't working, so I didn't see all the questions.
I think that was great planning to fit our desire to have a quicker show.
There we go. All right, so. That's it. I think that brings us to the end.
It's time for the ending song, the goodbye song.
The goodbye song. So the goodbye song is, if you'd like to read more about what we're talking about, you want to subscribe and get on our email list and find us on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, go to thefrequentmiler.com/subscribe. Again, that's thefrequentmiler.com/subscribe in order to get on all of our lists. And we will see you guys again soon. Thank you very much for listening.
Bye, everybody.